there, welcome back. Okay, prize draw Sunday, it's that time again. You know what it's like, we don't do any work in the garage on the Sabbath. It is time to give away a cool Sealey Lock. But before we do that, without further ado, as you can see, the turbo's back in the house, so let's show you a little bit around it. Let's show you what they achieved for us and give you an idea of a few plans to come. Right, there we go. Absolutely love that. This is what I wanted, little 10-inch banana pipe, superb, just slashed off, wide open. They make a massive amount of volume because the blower itself acts as a baffle. That stops the echo coming straight out the engine being really loud. It's not like open headers at all. Those of you who love turbos, if you've listened to them on the net a lot, you'll know that an open pipe turbo is a very specific sound. It's quite high pitched, quite aggressive, but it's not loud. It doesn't have bass to it, so it doesn't actually echo long distance. It is a very, very cool sound. I love it to bits. And riding it home from the place who did this was just amazing. Absolutely cool. Now, the other side of it is, technically speaking, I'm really pleased with the job they've done. They've made some differences to the pipes. The outer two pipes, as you can see here, we've got this heat shield in place, and they've put that in place because the back of the mudguard here was all burnt and blistered off, not because of the heat from the turbo. That doesn't get so hot compared to the headers themselves. The headers get the hottest. And where they all viper's nest into one block, that block under extreme conditions can glow red, and that is so hot, it's radiating heat and it's melted all the back of the mudguard. So to prevent that, they put a heat shield in place, which is extremely important. Not only that, also they said that any water splashing off the wheel is going to go straight up that center weld, and that's what broke and cracked the last one. So they put the heat shield in place to protect it from the weather so it doesn't corrode long term, also to protect it from cold shock. Now, a red hot exhaust that's practically just off the point of glowing red, you go through a puddle or a patch of water or something, or with water running across the road in the countryside, suddenly you get a stream of cold water, sprays up the center of that weld, it's going to cause it to crack. It's just going to do that, isn't it? It's obvious it's going to do that. So he said nowadays on nearly all the hybrid turbo systems he builds, he puts a heat shield or weather shield in place made out of stainless, and there it is. And I can't take it off to show you the pipes underneath because he's bolted it with the bracket underneath the mount bolt that bolts the turbo header to the blower itself. So if I undo that bolt to take this off and show you, I could compromise the joint there, the seal, and it's very high pressure seal. So I don't want to do that, don't need to do that right now. I'll give you a close-up look in a minute with the torch. You can see how cool the welding is inside there. This is another example of it. I'll show you close up in a minute. Amazing quality TIG welding, makes you cry if you're just a monkey MIG welder like me. But that's the kind of standard that I expected from these people. Quite a big investment, but really and honestly, so worth it. They redesigned the shape of them. The outer two pipes were longer on the last one, with two pipes going straight in. Now all four pipes are roughly the same length. They brought the center two pipes out a bit further and down in, so the pipes now kind of curve outwards, which means that all four pipes are the same length, which is better for tuning, a little bit better for breathing and so on. So these guys, after 17 years of making the first set of pipes, they've evolved, and that's what they now produce. Absolutely amazing. On this side, in with the rest of the job, and from what I can work out from the invoice, no charge either, they made this extra inlet pipe. Now the old inlet pipe, where they bent it, they use a mandrel bender now to bend all the tubing up. They bent it before on a regular pipe bender, which if you're interested in, you know that sort of thing. What it does is it puts a big swage in it, where any pipe or tubing gets bent. If it's mandrel bent, it comes out straight. That means that the circumference or diameter of the tubing is maintained throughout the bend, whereas if you bend it on a regular pipe bender, it's reduced. So you reduce the bore of the pipe on the bends. That's what the old one was like, not just on this, but on these two. These pipes, tubes, they're all mandrel bent now, which makes it a better system if you know you're tuning for many reasons. But this pipe was too short when they did it, because these pipes being longer, they've made these header pipes roughly ½ an inch longer that way before they made the bends. That put the whole blower, the turbo unit, forward about ½ an inch. So we really can get to it. There's masses of space in there now. I can get tools and stuff in there to check things like the studs for as time goes on, to make sure that they're still mobile and free and nothing's seized up. So that's useful. They've made it not just nicer looking and more efficient, they've made it easier to work on, which is, I love that sort of thing. I love that mentality. However, there was a cost to that, in the sense that when they put that on ½ an inch further forward, the inlet pipe didn't meet up, it was too short, so they simply made me another one, mandrel bent, polished, exactly like the others. They did say, did I want it mirror polished, all of it, like chrome? And I said, no, I don't like that. It's not my sort of thing. First of all, it always needs cleaning. And when you start cleaning it, you scratch it. So you never really maintain the mirror polish on stainless steel. It still discolours no matter what. So what I've got is this brushed finish. And as time goes on, if I want, all I've got to do is clean it with the Scotch-Brite. You get that lovely misty, clear finish, which is a great way to clean stainless pipes. So they've made it easier to live with and maintain and keep clean as well. Totally money spent. Well spent across the board. The other thing is this air filter. I'm going to change that. I've got a stainless steel one coming now. It's one of these basically, but instead of this cloth medium in it, it's got stainless steel. All of the mesh that it's made from is stainless steel, super fine stainless steel inlet manifold. It comes from Simotor, the people who made the filter for the Triumph. They do want it, it's for cars. Obviously this is a car turbo. This is a Garrett T25 hybrid turbo, which is a car turbocharger, usually rated for something like a 2-litre Saab or a Subaru Impreza, something like that. It's a massive turbo for what it is. And this air filter is rated for 500 horsepower in the sense that it's massive, it lets masses of air in, but you don't need it. This is only running about 200 brake, if I'm lucky. I just don't need that. It's big and ugly, and being cloth, it will retain moisture, whereas this is something a lot of you asked before, being in this position, is it going to get wet? Well, to be honest, this bike's done 15,000 miles in 19 years. These sort of bikes aren't ridden to work every day. Even though it's a bit dirty, it's not because it's been ridden in bad weather. And if a cloth filter gets wet, it stays wet until either the air dries it out or that moisture all gets sucked in. With a stainless steel one, it blows dry really quickly because it just blows straight through. The steel mesh itself doesn't get sodden like cloth, and I'm told that they're far, far better and they'll last just as long. Also, the other filter has got an internal venturi with an internal cone, so more filter area for less diameter, because as you can see by this one, it actually touches the wastegate body there, which is no good, which means it can't sit straight, and that's irritating, ugly and awkward, and it just does in my OCD, so I'll get a small one for that. The other thing now is the shocks. What I'm going to do with these. Okay, with the shocks, I'm going to change these. These Olin shocks are the set package that you get with your SP. This bike is an XJR 1200 SP Sarin replica. That's just the paintwork style. Now these were put on the SP bikes as an upgrade from the standard non-SP bikes. I know SP, you should know what it is. You're not silly, you know what that means. There's loads of SP version bikes, sport production it generally meant, and they put these on, but they're not really a fancy shock. They are Olins, and our Olins are amazing and all the rest of it. However, these are a real cooking package. They're nothing special. They're a set menu. There's no damping adjustment whatsoever. And what you see here that looks like an adjustable collar to give you multiple adjusting like Olin's is not. It's fake. What that is that's a fixed collar there, that doesn't move, and this underneath, can you see that, man? This underneath is a standard step ring that you get on all suspension. And all you do is have the usual 5 positions of steps. So all that's got is no more adjustment than the standard shocks on the standard ordinary XJR. They really are just a badge. That's all, a badge match. There's nothing more to them. So I want to change it for something that's got, we're going to use the YSS ones because they do the really cool damping the damping adjustment for compression and preload. And the preload setting is what I want the most. This being a bike with this much grunt, I notice that when I launch it, if I give it a big handful, dump the clutch and launch it, the back squats in under power so much that it goes out of shape. And if you look at any of the guys on the track, any guys on a drag strip, turbo bikes, any bike with masses of power, they tend to put really stiff suspension on the rear to stop it squatting. In fact, if you look at top fuel bikes, they run rigid suspension because it's the only way to get the power down. So purely for the fact that I get the adjustment, I'm going to go down in brand to perhaps a YSS shock, but something that's multi-adjustable for damping on preload and compression. But I can dial them in and make a better suspension setup on the rear. And these Olins, I'll simply put them on eBay and sell them to pay a little bit towards the bill on the pipes. Anyway, this is about a prize draw, so let's draw a winner. Okay, so there we are. Loads of other plans which I'll talk to you about later on. It's going to get painted. That's going to be the next project on it. I've also got to do a chain of sprockets. I want to do the brakes as well. I've got a clutch hose to change because it's the original rubber one. It's very spongy, which is awkward because it's competition clutch in that. It's got a really heavy billet clutch, and that rubber hose is no good. So there's lots and lots of little jobs to come, plus, as I said, a paint job. I'm going to start by painting it all satin black. That's as a base coat, and then we're going to get the maestro himself, my good buddy Mackie Bass, is going to come down and do a killer paint job for us. We've already planned it out, but we're not going to tell you what it is. You're actually only going to see it when it starts getting done. So that will be a lot sooner than the Street Fighter build because that paint is quite a way away yet. We haven't finished the bodywork. But there we are. Prize draw pen?
Yes.
Let's do a prize draw. Okay, a week ago, in order to find a winner for this Sealey motorcycle lock and chain, we asked a question. That question was, what was the motorcycle we put on the bench to put a bigger fuel tank on? It was about 3 years ago. Put my buddy Carlos's bike on the bench and we changed the little fuel tank for a bigger one. Just wanted to know what that bike was. A very, very simple one indeed. We made it as easy as possible, even told you where to go and find it. And the answer to that question was, Ben Pistol.
Harley Sportster 48.
Harley Sportster 48. Not difficult, really. You could have even worked it out because there aren't many bikes you have to put a bigger fuel tank on now, is there? Could have been a 72, but they're pretty rare now. There's only one person I know who's got one of those, but there we are. It was a Harley Sportster 48. So congratulations to all 498 of you that got that right. Only 12 wrong this week. That was fantastic, but a few of you did, however, send it to the wrong address. Please make sure you send to the right address because that's how we're administering it now. It does make it a lot easier for us to do the admin. So there we go. Right, I think we need to pick a winner, don't you?
Yes, good luck.
Okay, let's see what we go. Big old pile in here. Let's pick ourselves a lucky winner. Eyes down for a full house. What we say? Here we go. Look the other way. Here it is. Have I got one? There we go. Let's see who it is. Okay, the winner is Colin Taylor from London. There we go. Turn it around. Can you see that from there?
Yeah.
Colin Taylor from London. Got it? There we go. Right, congratulations Colin. Thank you my friend for entering. That's really good of you. And as soon as we hear from you in the comments, that means at least you've seen your name drawn out, which is the nice way to do it. We will make contact and get one of these off to you as soon as possible. Thank you also to all of you for entering. It's really amazing. 500 people engage with this, so it's good. You like it, and we're going to keep doing it as long as people like Sealey help us out with the prizes. That's it. So thanks again for Sealey for donating the prizes. That's the most important part of it. We need to make sure we acknowledge that. Anything else, Ben?
Thank you for all your support.
Thank you for all your kind support. Penny's not very well this week, as you might be able to hear, so you'll see her back possibly next week. See how she feels, eh?
Yep.
There we are. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Ride safe. See you next week.